How many of you all in the audience have heard of the story of Damar Hamlin, who went into cardiac arrest in the middle of an NFL game? That moment was not only shocking and scary for not only NFL players and fans who were at the game on that day, but also for fans and family members watching around the nation. It was one of those moments that you wish would never happen to anyone else ever again. If you haven't heard of his story, you may also be thinking that medical emergencies like his are not that common, but I am here to tell you that they are much more common than you think, and that I was one of those medical emergencies. On February 18th of last year, I was playing soccer with a new team. I was excited and looking forward to what this new opportunity had to offer me. In the first game, we came out, and even though we ended up losing, we were all looking forward to the second game. In the second game, in the first half, I was playing fine and was doing fine, but around 10 minutes into the second half, I started to slowly stagger off the field and then collapse on the ground. I had gone into cardiac arrest in the middle of the game, and I woke up a day later at Johns Hopkins General Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. Later on, I found out that thanks to a parent at the game who knew how to perform CPR and an automated external defibrillator that was able to be used to restart my heart, I was able to be saved before a much worse outcome could have happened. A couple days after being admitted into the hospital and having multiple different tests and exams ran on my body, I would undergo open heart surgery to repair the anatomical issue that had caused my event, and I woke up a day later feeling incredibly sore, with multiple tubes sticking out of me, and with a large scar running down the middle of my chest. Less than 24 hours after that, though, I was able to start to walk around the hospital floor a little bit. And then a couple days after that, I was able to be released from the hospital and sent home to rest and recover with my family. I was, though, placed on a full athletic restriction for about 5 to 6 months, but this restriction was eventually lifted on July 27th of last year, and I'm thankfully back to playing the sport that I love, and I'm very thankful for all the love and support that my family has received during this time. So, why do I tell you all this story about my life? Along with hopefully being an inspiring story, I would like to use this platform to advocate for sudden cardiac arrest, awareness, prevention, and response, and ways that you, the audience, can get involved. One thing that my family realized after my event was that while filling out health forms for sports, we never really looked into the sections that talked about cardiovascular health and seeing if I was dealing with any of the signs or symptoms that I could suffer from a cardiac event. These forms are incredibly important because they are one of the first ways that the athlete and parent can see if the athlete could suffer from a cardiac event in the future. Another thing that my family realized after my event was that since my issue was anatomical, a simple heart scan could have detected and prevented my issue way before it ever happened. Since, like I said, my issue was anatomical, I would like to stress the importance of receiving an electrocardiogram or echocardiogram before playing sports of any kind. These scans are incredibly important because, according to Parent Heart Watch, 1 in 300 youth have a heart malformality that could be detected via one of these scans. An electrocardiogram is a heart scan that is done to show the electrical activity of the heart, and it is done by placing electrodes on your chest and laying down on a medical bed. An echocardiogram, or a heart sonogram, is a heart scan that is done to show the structure of the heart, and it is useful in showing any heart malformalities or any damage from a previous heart attack. Since it is not easy to just get these scans on a whim, I would like to advocate that these scans be made more readily available for the general public and for people who play sports of any kind. Probably the most important thing when it came to saving my life on that day was the parent who knew how to perform CPR and the automated external defibrillator that was able to be used to restart my heart. In my scenario, I'm not only incredibly thankful that there was someone there who knew how to perform CPR, but I'm also incredibly thankful that there was an AED to be used at the game, because if there wasn't one there, I wouldn't be here to speak to you all today. In Howard County, AEDs are a requirement to have at all public schools, but they aren't always at all sporting events, and there aren't always people who are trained in using these machines. Along with having AEDs at sporting events and people who know how to use them, being CPR trained is incredibly important. Some places that you can get CPR certified are the American Heart Association, American Heart Association, American Health Training, or the American Red Cross. And according to a study done by the National Library of Medicine of over 2,000 schools across the United States over the course of 2 years, if someone is going through a sudden cardiac arrest and it is responded to with CPR and AED shocks, the survival rate of the person going through the event shoots up to around 89%. Since these skills are incredibly important in helping saving the life of you or someone that you know. You could be an innocent bystander like the parent who saved me and create a lasting impact on someone's life that they will remember forever. Another way that you can contribute towards the issue of sudden cardiac arrest, awareness, prevention, and response is by donating to organizations that advocate for these things. An organization that my family has gotten involved with since my event is Parent Heart Watch, and they are an organization that advocates for preventing youth sudden cardiac arrest and preventable sudden cardiac deaths. They are an organization that have screened over 1 million youth for heart malformalities, have placed over 700,000 AEDs around the nation, and have trained over 10,000 people to use AEDs. They are also a place where you can learn about cardiovascular health, and also a place where you can read stories about children just like me who were saved. After this event, I'd really appreciate it if you would all take the time to go check out their website. In closing, I would just like to stress the importance of all the things that I've talked about here today, because they can be incredibly important in saving the life of you or someone you know. It may not happen to you, but that is exactly what my family thought until I collapsed on the field on that chilly Saturday afternoon. Sudden cardiac arrests are the leading cause of death in young athletes in the United States, but I was very lucky. With my story of survival, I would like to have sudden cardiac arrest, awareness, prevention, and response become a more prevalent topic, especially in youth sports, and that action taken toward this issue can help end up saving more lives and creating more stories like mine. Thank you.